Howdy people, we are live. It is Wednesday, August 14th, 4:52 p.m. I'm here at the harbor front by myself with a view of Lake Ontario. I see Sebastian in the chat, Mary W, Kaplan, Kevin Wu, Jellybean, Shivbalin, Simon Kitty, Gertej, Pine Soul, Matt, Baby Shark, Sal Smith, John Burke. Thanks for tuning in. Moderators Vivian Johnson and Marge have made an appearance. Andrew Lee says, what up from NYC? NYC. I don't know if I can associate with anyone from NYC. That's a very suspect city. And there I am. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Sorry, there's a guy sitting in front of me blocking. You know what? I might know who that is.
What? Am I blocking your view?
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
Look who it is. It is Action Kid. What's up?
Yo! Long time no see, Johnny. Last time I saw you was in Thailand, right?
Yeah, we were in with Jason Rupp.
Yep.
Another really big YouTuber. We all went out for Italian food. Shivlin says, hi AK. Jellybean says, I need to make a coffee, BRB. I'm not saying a nice coffee would be...
He's live? Whoa, I gotta check.
But all right, we're down here at the harbor front. So this is Action Kid's second day in Toronto this trip. So he was kind enough to want to hang out for the live stream. We might be crossing paths again on Friday, and I'm sure we will again on this trip. I think tomorrow he's got a pretty full schedule, so I won't be seeing him tomorrow. But yeah, let's go take a look at the lake. The plan for this one, we're just gonna wander around, and then it's possible at the end of this live stream that Action Kid is going to fire up a live stream. So check out his channel at Action Kid, all one word. If you're not sure who he is, do subscribe. And he'll be doing a lot of adventures throughout Toronto. In fact, he filmed a video right before this one, right?
Yeah, I did. I rode my scooter down here to the harbor front.
Well, you filmed two videos, right? You did one for AK Extra?
Yeah, I did one for eating at Pearl Harbor Front Center and another one scootering down here.
Yeah.
It's different scootering in here than New York.
Well, let's take a look at the waterfront. And we've got the sun directly to the west, so I think we're gonna go east with the sun at our back. I don't really fancy walking directly into the sun.
It is mighty warm today.
And there's a look at the lake and the islands. Gertej says, welcome to Toronto, Action Kid. Juliana says, Action Kid is amazing.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here again, and one of my favorite cities, Toronto.
Yeah, I've met Action Kid now in Thailand, in New York City, and Toronto.
Second time.
We didn't cross paths in Vietnam, but I think we both quite like that country, so perhaps someday. Here, let me keep the camera a little closer to you because I use the camera mic. Cam says, Johnny strides into the sun with Action Kid. So I don't really know where we're gonna go. We're just gonna wander around for a bit. And then I will pass the torch to him and he'll do a live stream.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I live streamed yesterday and it's quite busy then too.
It's a peak tourist season. There's an awful lot of American plates in the city on weekends around this time of year. Funky Child says Johnny pronounced Toronto as a Yankee and AK as a Canuck.
What?
I kind of lightly hit the second T. You're more of a Toronto. I say Toronto. Sometimes I hit it, sometimes it's a D. I'm not very consistent with how I say it. There's some nice patios in there. A lot of people enjoying the weather and some cold beers.
I'll just be here.
What was the name of the restaurant?
The Pearl Harbor Front Center.
That's a dim sum restaurant.
Yeah, I think it's the best dim sum restaurant in the world.
In the world?
Yeah, from what I've tried. I've had dim sum all over the world, so.
Well, we've got some really, really good Chinese food in the city, but also Scarborough and Markham is known for that. So perhaps you went to
Pacific Mall.
Yeah.
That was the only time I went to Markham. Oh, and I went to Unionville too.
Believe it or not, I've yet to go to either place on this channel.
What?
Cannabis says go to the well. The well might be cool, actually.
What's the well?
Maybe we can go to the well. We were gonna kind of finish up around Yonge and Bloor, but well, Sugar Beach is straight ahead. You haven't seen that, but I did Sugar Beach on a somewhat recent stream, so
all right.
Maybe we'll go up that way.
We'll see.
He's just gonna go wherever I take him to.
Hey, I've never seen the well. I've never seen Sugar Beach. It's a lot of Toronto I haven't seen.
Jeanette Morales says, hi Johnny, Action Kid, and pals. Jeanette in the house. Hello, Jeanette. This is how I have to read the chat. Or I can just do this.
Yeah, that works.
When it's raining, I have an umbrella or a coffee. Mike Landry, $5.
Mike Landry, all right.
Hi Johnny. Great seeing Action Kid back in TO. Mike Landry, thank you so much for the $5. That is much appreciated. And Action Kid is grateful as well. I don't know why he would be. You sent it to me, but... Ooh, this is nice in the shade. Did you have a beaver tail last time you were here?
I did, yeah. I forgot what flavor I had, but it most certainly had maple syrup in it.
And chocolate?
Yeah.
And this boat here is operated by Hornblower, the company that took over Maid of the Mist in Canada. You were just in Niagara Falls.
I was, yep. It was fun. I did the Maid of the Mist tour.
Did you bring a camera and record it?
Yeah, I did. I had to do it twice, actually.
Yeah, so you guys might remember I went to London and I did a River Thames boat tour, and my camera wasn't in focus, and I was kind of kicking myself wondering, this guy's here, we got to keep talking. This guy plays like music in the background and then he plays his saxophone on top of it.
I see.
So we could be losing monetization. But I screwed up my video in London and I was kind of regretting not going back and redoing it. Well, Action Kid had a memory card problem his first video, so he paid to go on the ride. He went on it. He recorded it, and then his file was corrupt.
Yeah, and my camera broke too. I had to redo the whole thing.
All right,
I'm
just gonna keep talking and get away from this song, so we get to keep our monetization. That's just the way it works, unfortunately. I'm not using my mic too, so I can't just mute. Have you been to Love Park? No, I don't think you have. Let's go to Love Park.
A lot of these small little areas I've never seen.
Well, Love Park didn't exist last time you were here.
Oh, really? It's new. There's also Graffiti Alley, which I never went to.
Yeah, that's just south of Chinatown, so that's going to be easy to see right off of Queen West.
I should see the Toronto Islands too.
I have not been to the Toronto Islands in a very long time.
Here's Beaver Tails, the same one I ate at. I think I did an Action Kid extra eating Beaver Tails.
Rudy C says it's so sunny. Yes, it is. I don't know, I'm torn between going to the well or Sugar Beach.
Are they both in the same direction?
No, that's why I'm torn.
Oh.
Pat 75 is here. I remember seeing Pat 75 walking around with Action Kid's friend Jaycation.
Oh yeah.
When Jaycation was in Toronto.
Oh, I wasn't in Toronto when Jaycation came.
And I remember Pat 75 and Jaycation walking around King West one night.
Oh, I saw that when Jaycation met Pat 75. Pat 75 actually met me somewhere around here. I think it was near the Gardner.
Oh, the Gardner is right there. All right, I'm gonna see how many critters Action Kid can find in Love Park. Bernie says, welcome back to Toronto, Action Kid.
You know, these streetcar rails, you really have to be careful with them because I almost fell on it riding the scooter.
Yeah, if you use like a fat tire bike, you don't have to worry, but oh, these people are handing out acne patches. But here we are at Love Park. There's a bear.
A bear that's half black and half green. Or partially green.
Yeah, this opened up last year. And somebody earlier this year dyed all the water blue and the city had to drain the park.
What? That's crazy.
But if you look, you'll see like a beaver, you'll see there's a fox over there. There's all kinds of like animals hidden.
So what was here before?
An off-ramp to the highway, actually.
Wow. Wait, how would that happen?
It was like a spiral kind of thing.
That's crazy.
Yep. It came down right there where Harbor Street is.
It's hard to imagine like that was there.
Yeah. Well, you can go on Google Street View. You know what? What do you guys say? Do you guys want to go to the well or do you want to go to Sugar Beach? Place your votes. What does Action Kid want to go to?
Which way is the well and which way is Sugar
The well
Beach?
is that way, Sugar Beach is that way.
Let's go Sugar Beach.
Action Kid says Sugar Beach. Works for me. Yippity skippity. And we're well over 300 viewers already. I can't see the screen here. I should turn the brightness up. Maybe 10 minutes into the stream. Thank you guys. Friendly reminder to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. But don't do it just once, do it twice. AK will be going live. He went live last night from Toronto. You can see the replay of that stream.
Yeah, I squished myself through the Toronto sign there.
I saw that part.
And I incorrectly called Toronto Hollywood at that point.
Hey, when you travel, no one expects you to be an expert. You can say silly things, right? I made all kinds of mistakes in my London and Belgium videos. Cannabis asking, what is Action Kid's biggest criticism of Toronto?
The construction, really. All the random, like, plastic barrels all over the place, and you have to, like, turn left and right. Queen Street is a mess right now with the construction.
Somebody said yesterday they're building a subway line to nowhere in your stream.
Yeah, the Ontario line.
And I really couldn't disagree with that anymore. It's like it's a subway line we needed like 30 years ago. It's ridiculous they're only building it now. It should have been extended more, especially on the west side, but it's certainly not a subway to nowhere. Like, it's called the Relief Line. Well, that's what it was called. It's a much needed subway line. Falcon Scott says, welcome back, Action Kid.
Oh, I had my experience with the TTC yesterday, taking line 1, and it was so slow.
That is one thing I think you will notice is worse from your last trip, is the subway system has all these slow zones implemented. They're being ridiculously overly cautious. and it is turning commutes into literally a living hell.
It was crazy just getting to Spadina. The train had to like slow to a crawl and like stop every few feet.
When I was coming to meet you, I had to wait for 11 minutes at Eglinton, which is insane. There was nothing announcing the trains were late or anything, and then it took off at like a snail's pace, pretty much between Eglinton and Bloor. So I got to Bloor and Yonge about 30 minutes later than I normally would, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, transit not running smoothly.
Yeah, that's another criticism I have about Toronto right now. The construction and the transit.
But hopefully when you come back, the Crosstown will be open, Line 6 on Finch will be open, a lot of GO train improvements will be implemented, and we're going to go from like not a great transit system to one of the best, hopefully. Party bus. So there's where you would take the ferry to the island, just over there, the Jack Layton Island ferry. Novell Koss is here. Good evening, Novell Koss. Late afternoon. Douglas Blackwell asking, will I collab with Action Kid outside of Toronto? Well, there's a video of us in New York City together.
And Bangkok, Thailand.
Bangkok, and near the ocean, or the Gulf of Thailand as well. Or we appear in each other's videos, at least. On the island of Koh Larn.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna go to Sugar Beach and then probably up into the St. Lawrence neighborhood. I did a similar route to this on a live stream a few weeks ago, but I believe that was on a weekend. A good like scooter video is just along the Waterfront Trail. Here and go to like Humber Bay Arch, or the Humber Bay Arch Bridge. But yeah, there's the Jack Layton Ferry Terminal. If you don't want to take the ferry because it's all busy, you can take a private taxi. It's not that expensive either. You take the public ferry back, but
how much is the public ferry?
I forget. It's like 10 or 12 bucks, I think. All beef hot dogs, $5.99. If there is one thing Toronto does 1,000 times better than New York City, I'm sorry, it's street meat. These hot dog vendors are so much better. And look at look at the toppings.
Look at that. And they seem like a better value too.
Yeah.
You know, in New York they have a nickname. It's called Dirty Water Dog.
There's no negative connotation here. What's the weather in Miami like right now?
Let me look it up. Let's see.
Bernie Ann says you are both OGs and East Coast cities walking tours. Keep it coming. Thank you.
Miami right now is 32 Celsius, 89 Fahrenheit.
Woo! 6 degrees hotter than here.
Oh yeah.
Although the wild card is the humidity, right?
Oh, Miami's definitely more humid than
here. So that
sure.
sucks. There's a world of difference between like a dry heat and when it's humid.
Oh, there's another taxi here.
Yep. You can take water taxis here. You can take them where we just were.
One thing that's smart is taking a scooter here or the TTC. You don't have to pay expensive parking fees.
You see, that's where I might disagree with the scooter part, because you have to pay an expensive replace the scooter when it's stolen fee.
But I locked it up though.
Yeah.
I used the Kryptonite New York lock with cable to lock my helmet too, so hopefully it'll all be there when I get back.
There's a water taxi.
But I've done it hundreds of times in New York without a problem, so I don't know.
Oh, there's one pinnacle. That's going to be a super tall rising. It'll be over 1,000 feet. It'll be.
When I was driving on Young Street yesterday, I saw one Bloor West is still under construction.
Yep.
I thought it'd be finished by now.
They had a lot of problems with like financial solvency. The original developer is off the project.
That's going to be the tallest building?
That or this one.
Oh.
It's still, they've both applied for height increases, so it's still, but they're both going to be over 1,000 feet. And there's another one at Yonge and Gerrard under construction, Concord Sky. That'll be over 1,000 feet. So there's 3 actively under construction, and there's a whole lot more on the way.
I know, I had some drinks at work, but it was all like at like 2. Like it was like.
It's the city with by far the most high rises under construction in North America. It's not even close.
Yep, I noticed that just driving it, all the construction zones and detours I had to go through.
Well, New York is kind of limited because the developers have to acquire like the air rights, right? There's this very complicated system. Whereas here, I think they just bribe city council. Oh, you want a skyscraper? Here you go. There's the NBA courtside restaurant. But Toronto's waterfront used to be full of industry and ports and factories and that type of thing. And there's one left still operating, the Redpath sugar refinery. And sometimes it's got a museum, and sometimes you can smell it, and it smells really good. Greetings, Heng Mao. Robin Joseph, which area is this? This is
Harborfront BIA, Waterfront BIA.
That's the name of the business improvement area. Yep.
If I'm ever unsure where I am in Toronto, those street signs tell you
But
where
it's
you are.
confusing because that's not necessarily a neighborhood name. That's the name of the organization that gets all the businesses to pay into a fee. So it's the BIA is just the commercial strip. And they're the ones who put on like the street festivals and things. A fun one is the Beaches neighborhood. It's the beaches, but the BIA is the beach BIA. And depending on who you ask, some people incorrectly think the neighborhood is called the beach, but historically it's always been the beaches. But that's like a contentious point in the city. I'm sure there's someone like rolling their eyes saying I'm wrong right now. You're like looking for a crossing guard or like a cop. It's just a guy having a beer. But we're heading through an area called East Bayfront. And straight ahead on the left is the Quayside project. That's going to be a massive high-rise community going in. And then just east of there is the Portlands, the biggest redevelopment in North America right now.
And I see the most overpriced grocery store in Canada there on the corner.
Well, it's certainly the least popular. Well, there's another expensive one, Farm Boy.
I find it funny how Loblaws tries to like have different names for all their grocery stores throughout Canada, and you don't really know it's Loblaws until you go in there.
Zehrs. They even have one called the Independent City Market.
I saw that in Niagara Falls. I was like, what's so independent about this? It's Loblaws.
Well, I think it runs under like a franchise model. So technically there's like a franchisee, but it's still Loblaws. Except you're probably paying even more.
And in Montreal was Provigo.
And they own Shoppers Drug Mart. I just want to... You get a pretty cool view of... Well, you used to have a really cool view of the financial district. Now it's all condos blocking it. And you can barely see the CN Tower peeking up over there. Ice Cream King says, what's your view of the cops parking illegally and giving the finger to the guy? That's incredibly not cool in my opinion. And the fact that the police are like taking the side. What's happened? There's been a rash of pictures lately of police parking in bike lanes to get coffee and donuts.
Oh my gosh.
And the city allows emergency vehicles to park in bike lanes, providing they're responding to an emergency. So this one guy he pulled out his camera and recorded these cops that had parked in a bike lane, and they were coming out of Starbucks, and they had a confrontation, and the cop ended up giving him the middle finger, and that went viral. And the police are trying to defend it. Like, there's no defending that. Like,
hey, the cops need their coffee to be awake, right?
no problem with that. Sure, go get a coffee, but park legally and don't endanger people by blocking a bike lane. Like, don't be hypocrites, right? Oh, you can stand in Hyde Park and give out tickets to people for slowly rolling through stop signs, endangering nobody, yet
there's that sugar refinery.
yeah. There's a museum in that building we walked past. But they used to have an operation in Montreal, and I think in the 80s they closed that. Can you smell the sugar?
I can a little bit.
Peter Stock is here. I believe you've met Action Kid before.
Yeah, Peter Stock.
It's a small world. So
There's
we're
a spot I remember going to, the St. Lawrence Market.
Yeah, we're gonna head into the St. Lawrence neighborhood. I think a few weeks ago on a stream, I went up Jarvis here, and I did that in a video. So we're gonna go up Lower Sherbourne, and we'll take that into the St. Lawrence neighborhood. Someone said, don't scare Action Kid with your rants. He's a big boy, he can handle it.
I've seen worse in New York too. There, cops will block bike lanes like no other.
All you have to do is watch a Zero Enigma video. That guy might be bored here.
Yeah, he will. There's a lot less happening here in Toronto than New York when it comes to like cycling or scootering. The amount of stuff you see.
The drivers might be worse though. Mark D asking if we're going to the distillery. I don't know if we're going to go that far east. Oh, so you'll often see them like transferring the sugar on that crane and dumping it into the boat. You can definitely smell it, can't you? And there's Sugar Beach. Sometimes there's like food festivals. There's a candy festival every year here. Can you see Cherry Street from there? You can, I believe, from the waterfront. So we'll take a look and see if we can see the bridges. But what the city should have done already is build the LRT along here that's going to go into the Portlands. Because Queens Quay East, either a streetcar or LRT should be extended as well as the King Street car running south at Cherry Street should head into the Portlands and go around Villiers Island. Boom Productions is here. Hello, Boom Graham. So we're gonna show Action Kid Sugar Beach. He can decide if he ever wants to come here on one of his streams or videos.
I wonder if I've been here when Nuit Blanc, am I saying it right, was here?
Nuit Blanche?
Nuit Blanche?
I don't.
Was that ever showcased here? Because I may have passed
Probably.
by here.
It's kind of out of the way though.
I don't know, it seems kind of familiar to me. Or maybe I've seen enough Toronto videos that I feel like I've been here, but I didn't really.
Liberty Tree says, "Sup, Johnny? Greetings, Liberty Tree." Bill Chow, Deborah. Ooh, shade. This is nice. Nice and cool.
Yeah, it is.
But there's no water access. Not that you'd want to go in the water.
Oh, the water is probably so dirty.
It's as dirty as the Seine. If you're just tuning in, we're joined by Action Kid, making his way from the US. But he's pretty much a global citizen at this point.
Yeah, I had to go through 3 different states and international border to come here.
You started in New York?
Yep, I did.
Did you go through Pennsylvania?
I went through New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and then I drove north from Pennsylvania and I hit New York again.
Western New York, right?
Yeah, Western New York.
So you didn't go past Albany that
I
way?
didn't go that way.
You missed the capital of New York.
I did.
What do you think of Sugar Beach?
It's nice. I like the water fountain. I don't really like a beach here with a view of a tanker ship, though.
It's not always there, but you get the islands.
This way is okay, but why would you want to like sunbathe here? Oh, great view of a tanker ship. It'd be better if they had like a stand here instead of over there. I don't get it.
Robin Joseph says, Action Kid, have you been to San Francisco?
I have.
Alright, let's go.
But yeah, they should have put the beach here, not on that side where the tanker is and the obvious sugar refinery they knew was going to be there.
I like it. Stir Crazy says, take him to Scarborough Bluffs Beach. There's an idea. See this area over there? That's the Portlands. That's a former industrial area that it's turning into like a big neighborhood. And you can see the bridges.
It's so out of the way though, like the public transit.
Well,
They're forever.
they've built like bridges that are for the LRT to go. So it's supposed to be connected, but that hasn't been approved or finalized yet. But there's still a long big move.
Well, I like all these trees here.
That's quite nice.
It's nice. A lot of maple trees. That's probably why it's also Sugar Beach, because they have all these maple trees.
Uh-oh, we might be having connection issues.
Uh-oh. You can always turn back.
Yeah, we're gonna I don't know if that's just my here, let's walk a little head to greener pastures. Yeah, we're gonna get out of this bad connection area. Technical difficulties, bear with us. We're gonna go. All right, so Bell is kind of fast right now. Is the Wi-Fi on your phone? But is the Wi-Fi searcher on? Can you just disable Wi-Fi? You know, sometimes that interferes with it. But I think we're good now. Vivian Johnson says, Johnny, we cannot hear AK.
Well, I was kind of far away.
But is the Wi-Fi searcher on? Okay, well, I think we've wandered out of the bad. Just disable Wi-Fi. He was kind of far away from me when I was talking to him.
Yeah, I was trying to look at the screen to see if it was on or not.
Farshid says, Razzie says, you're the best, thank you. Can you speak a little quieter or louder? They're saying we cannot hear you. I'm holding the microphone exactly in between us.
I thought it was okay.
Well, I think we wandered out of the bed. Just disable. He was kind of far away from me when I was talking to him. We're testing it. The problem is if I use the DJI mics, it interferes, and then you have connection problems.
Oh, that's the reason why too.
Firestorm says I can hear it. Yeah, I tested the volume. It sounded fine to me. We both sounded loud, so sorry guys, that's just how it's going to be on the stream.
There's acorns just coming down from these trees.
So we're going to head north up Lower Sherburne into the St. Lawrence neighborhood. So, yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. I was thinking, yeah, you've been to Berksea Park, right? The dog fountain park?
Yeah, I did.
All right, we might be heading there.
That was on the way to St. Lawrence Market.
All right, so this is Queens Quay East again.
This was the first street I was ever introduced to in Toronto, coming out from Billy Bishop Airport.
Yeah, we walked up to Queens Quay and you jumped on one of the streetcars, either the 509. I think it was the 509.
Same question
There
over.
was one of the streetcars that wasn't running that day.
Yeah, it was probably the 510. And then we went to Union and then got on the subway up to St. Clair. But sorry about that connection problem, guys. That was just Bell not doing so well down by the lake. Canadian Vasily, member for 7 months. God tier, extra generous. He says, hello, AK.
Hey.
Action Kid says, hey, thank you, Vasily, for the support. 7 months of membership. Thank you so much, guys. I do have to update that end screen at the end of my videos. I do that about twice a month. But thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you to Action Kid for joining me on this one.
Pleasure.
I don't know how long we'll stream. It's not going to be a super long stream because this guy would like to do his own.
We can make it as long as you want.
We are humans.
Let's go for 3 hours.
3 hours with long sleeves and full pants.
And a bottle of water, which Johnny doesn't have.
But thank you, Vivian, for 19 months of membership. And thank you for all your dedicated hard work as a mod. Thank you, Vivian.
Hey, it's the Gardner Expressway, which I had the pleasure of driving on yesterday.
And you've been to Boston where they did the big dig.
Yep.
Something we should have done with this thing a long time ago. That was a very controversial project in Boston.
Oh, the big dig, yeah.
The biggest infrastructure project in North America in like a century. Like, it was huge.
Well, at least Toronto's trying to prioritize public transit over the freeway, so.
Robin Joseph says, is the Gardner on your left? It is right in front of us. We're about to waltz underneath it. And we're gonna emerge on the other side into the St. Lawrence neighborhood. There's no way as a pedestrian you can make it across.
Oh no, it's crazy.
Have you been on a GO train?
I haven't. Only the Up Express.
Here, can you hold this for a sec? Shoot a message. Awkwardly point the camera at him.
Yeah, I've never ridden a GO train before.
That's our commuter rail system. And it's actually being electrified and improved. If you're ever going out to like the suburbs, that's the best way to do it.
The GO train. You know what I actually did when I went to Unionville is I think that driver drove over that curb.
And
The driver with the black car made a noise. Yeah, I went to Unionville. I actually took the subway to Don Mills, line 4, and then got an Uber from there.
how much was that Uber?
I think it may have been like $25.
Don't you have a system in New York where you can like catch people and take a picture and like report them?
Oh, for
Like driving infractions or parking?
only for taxi and limousine commission vehicles, the for hire vehicles, like Uber, Lyft, or the yellow taxis. You can report them for violations. I've done that before.
Did you get a cut of the fine?
No, you don't.
Mark says we still can't hear AK very well. We're driving infractions or parking.
Only for
His volume is exactly the same as mine from what I can hear. Thank you, Mark, for 42 bucks of membership, but there's nothing I can do about the audio. It sounds fine.
Sounds good to me.
Sal Smith, $5. $5 for Vivian. Sal Smith, thank you so much. Thank you, Sal Smith, for the $5. Much appreciated. Can you hold this for a sec?
All right. I'm gonna be taking over the stream. If you can't hear me now, then it's probably something wrong with the audio, but I'm the only one speaking right now. What in the world are we walking next to?
I like this. All right, see ya.
Is this what kind of building is this? I was gonna say it looks
It's
like a jail, but I saw a parking lot.
I think it's a co-op. We are on Lower Sherbourne. Lower Sherbourne, as it is south of Front Street. We're coming up upon the Esplanade, one of my favorite streets downtown. Gertej Bauer with $1. Thank you, Gertej. Thank you so much.
At least here there's a lot of flowers and landscape. Have you ever used Toronto's bike sharing system?
A few times.
How was your experience?
I think it's great. It's very affordable. It's very accessible. I don't like the bikes themselves. They're kind of like heavy tanks. I think they're the same in most cities.
Yeah.
Have you used them?
Yeah, I have. The one in New York, it looks the same thing. It's just different branding and a different color.
I remember watching that guy Luca do like barefoot pedaling on a city bike in New York. Or Lucas?
Lucas.
And I didn't even see my phone, so it was fine. She was like, yeah, I want to go on.
You know, he's now in like Miami, I think.
I heard.
And we are at the Esplanade. And just over there is the Distillery District.
That's why this seems familiar to me. I knew I walked over here sometime. May have been with you or Ken.
I think we did like a video once down Parliament Street. And we ended at the St. Lawrence Market.
And that's when I had a pea-meal bacon sandwich. That was really good at the St. Lawrence Market.
Travel Fun 69. Jeff Lepard is here.
Hey, Jeff is here. Hey.
What's up, Jeff? Hope you're doing well. We'll have to get you on a video at some point in the future again. Jeanette loves this street. I like the bike lanes on this street. They're like curb separated, they're elevated.
You know, I only had a few moments of this on Spadina, and then it stopped. I was like, this is so good. Why do they have to end the bike lane so early?
Yeah, Spadina, not the best bike route.
No, it's not.
But south of Bloor to College is kind of nice. You go around the Daniels building. And over 600 viewers. Thank you so much, guys. Just a friendly reminder to check out Action Kid's channel as well. He'll be making a lot of excellent content in the city, as well as going live right after this. I'll be looking forward to somebody else holding the camera. He's got his gimbal on him.
Yep, I do. I've got a Roger SIM card too, courtesy of yours truly.
Henry or Harry asking, what American city would you say Toronto is most similar to? I personally can't think of one that really comes to mind. Can you?
Maybe Chicago.
I think in terms of like size and skyscrapers, Chicago, and like they've both got a great lake. I think you're right. That's probably the most on paper.
That's kind of like the closest I can think to Toronto.
But Toronto actually plays a lot of American big cities in movies and TV. We're just waiting for the light to cross, then we're gonna go west directly into the sun. Jellybean says Baltimore. You've been watching too much of The Wire, Jellybean. Tested 1 2 3 is here. Good afternoon, Tested 1 2 3. Herjot, holy cow!
Whoa!
$27.99. Hello, Johnny, Action Kid, and everyone.
Hard job with a generous super chat for Johnny.
Thank you very much, Herjot. And if Ken Continuum were here, he'd be singing "Here Comes the Sun."
Yeah, why is it so sunny here?
We're walking directly into it, or towards it. So you're gonna go to the CNE on Friday when it opens up,
I intend to, that's right.
and that'll be your first time.
It'll be fun.
If you were to say what's one event I must attend in Toronto, I think that would be the one not to miss the most.
It's the CNE.
Yeah, it's the biggest tradition, it's the biggest crowd draw. In
I would
terms
think it would be like New Year's.
Yeah, but New Year's is everywhere, right? You can go to Sydney, Taipei, New York. They're all more renowned for New Year's. Maybe as a YouTuber, if you're going to live stream something in Toronto, yeah, live stream New Year's.
Yeah,
Or-
but I guess if it's like a city-specific event, you don't really get something like the CNE and other places on like the same day.
Yeah, think of like the biggest county fair in the US and just make it way bigger with way more people, and then put it in a very large city, steps from downtown, and that's what the CNE is basically.
I mean, there used to be a big event like that in New York called the World's Fair, but I don't know what happened to it. Like, they stopped hosting it, and I guess it got less popular.
Mr. Crazy says, I love Toronto. Robin Joseph says, let's go, Leafs. Well, here's a familiar building coming up in a block. Can you guess what it's going to be?
Oh, I see that building. Oh,
You can see it. Oh yeah, I guess you can.
I didn't see that on the sidewalk. Construction like crazy. I don't know the name of it though, but I passed by it.
Angel Luis is here.
Oh, I thought you meant the triangular one.
Oh,
yeah.
the Flatiron building?
Yeah, the Flatiron looking building. But I see what you mean now on the left hand side. That's the St. Lawrence Market.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hand the camera over to Action Kid for a few minutes. Do you mind?
I don't mind.
I'm dying of thirst.
We'll head over to the St. Lawrence Market without Johnny and get a pea mayo bacon sandwich. Actually, the last time I was there, like, I went in there and most of the stores were closing for the day. So hopefully this time I'll be able to go in and see more stores. How's the signal in there? Have you tried?
Yeah, I've streamed in there. It's pretty good.
All right.
Buble action. I put this in my freezer before I went out.
It's still cold?
Kind of.
This building is so cool. Reminds me of other public markets where I travel.
Is the camera pointed up?
No, it was before.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, I wasn't holding it the right way. Because the sun is in the way. Hard to
You're an
see.
amateur.
Yeah. This reminds me of like Quincy Market in Boston, Philadelphia. There's the Reading Terminal Market. New York City doesn't have something like this.
Well, you can see the hours right there.
Oh, 9 to 7.
You want to go in quickly?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
So I know what to expect. Well, it's definitely pretty much like unlimited roof space. It's a lot of ceiling there. Yeah, I didn't see this all when I was here last time. I'm sure a lot of these places, they went up in price for all their products. You know, in Montreal, there's a building here that's kind of similar to this too, where there's a market. Forgot the name of it, but I went there also.
So you're gonna come back here?
Yeah, I will. Maybe not today, but eventually I want to make a video in here.
There's a small area downstairs as well.
Yeah, I missed all this the last time I was here.
What place is popular?
The Buster's Sea Cove. Do we have a copyright issue here? Should we keep talking or? Yeah, but still, sometimes.
Yeah, if it's a cover band. Oh, you were selfieing it? Thank you, Action Kid, for holding the camera while I drank my bubbly. This is one of 2 pedestrian streets downtown. And we can't see much of it, so let's head down. Speaking of pedestrian streets, people were telling me when I was walking through Kensington Market yesterday, Augusta Street should be pedestrianized, and I agree. Augusta and Kensington and Baldwin. It's only the last Sunday of the month, May through October. There's
That's
even
so bad.
there's even a sign that says pedestrian only some Sundays. Like, but this is Market Street. Good timing, avoiding the music.
It's a nice street here.
That's one of my favorite neighborhoods, for sure. Wyhaus says this part looks like Boston, where Fenway Park is. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. I've been to Fenway. It's got a bit of a similar vibe.
I mean, I've been to Boston so many times, I could see the comparison. After all, both places have English influence. New England being the largest city, and then you have here being the capital of Canada for a while. York, right? It was called York before.
Yeah, it was Upper Canada when it was. Hidden Jackpot says going to be in Toronto August 24th. Neat. If you can track me down during a live stream, feel free to snipe. All I ask is that you're friendly.
Well, that's copyright music.
There's a look down Market Street. It's a tiny little pedestrianized street just between Front and the Esplanade. And there's another one in Yorkville called Belair Street. And that's an even shorter pedestrianized stretch. And that technically isn't downtown. But man, you go to Montreal and there's pedestrianized streets everywhere.
They came, but she said no.
Like the whole Plateau neighborhood is full of them.
You did the smart thing and visited Montreal when it wasn't so cold out. I went there and got sick.
Well, except for that one trip where I only brought my shoes and it was the winter and I didn't realize they don't shovel their sidewalks or anything.
That's crazy.
But this is walking west on the south side of Front Street East, heading towards the Flatiron Building and Berksea Park, joined by Action Kid. He recorded a e-scooter ride before this. And I think he's got a whole bunch of New York videos.
I certainly do. I plan to make some Toronto walking videos too, but haven't decided on my first one yet. I've only done a TTC video and a scooter video and a driving video here. Speaking of the driving video, I'm working on one of my longest videos ever. Actually, I think it is my longest video. Driving from New York City to Toronto. The video is 9 hours and 38 minutes long.
And it is currently rendering on 2 computers right now. Yeah, I've never done anything that long. My longest video, I think, I did one video once called 2 hours of walking around downtown Toronto. That might be my longest pre-recorded video. What do you think of our Flatiron Building versus yours? Not very comparable, right?
Well, yours looks a lot better than ours now because New York City is on this scaffolding. It's been like that for like the last 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, ours is actually used. Nobody wants yours.
I know, right?
It's like a financial liability. They can't tear it down. They can't really change it because it's historical. And it costs so much money that nobody even wants to buy it, right?
That's right. And it had to go up for auction. Someone finally did buy it. They're turning it into residential. But even still, like, it doesn't make sense because the higher you get on the floors, the smaller the ceiling gets, and the narrower the room sizes are.
And they have to have plumbing for each. It's not like an office tower where you can just have bathrooms in the same spot. You need multiple bathrooms on every floor. And I think that's a major expense, right? Turning an office building into residential.
Oh, it is.
I saw one video on doing that in New York City, and they said it's almost cheaper to tear the whole thing down and build a commercial or a residential building than convert one. But you can't tear down a historical building, right? So
Yep, good for now.
this is an excellent patio.
We're about to pass the dog fountain park. What is it called? Berksey Park?
Yep. Some will disagree. Ooh, that guy has a flight. I want that so bad. You just ate. I was gonna say, I could just stop the stream here and order food.
You didn't eat yet?
I had leftover pizza for lunch at about, right when you left, about 12:30.
That's something I have to try in Toronto this time, is pizza. Last time I came, I had pizza. That was my Toronto pizza experience.
That would be like if I had Little Caesars in New York. Lisa says she's making a BLT for dinner.
Ooh.
Hey, look at this. It's the dog fountain.
And me being the tourist that I am, I'm taking pictures.
I'm taking pictures of Action Kid taking pictures. Pretend to do it. It's recycled water. Don't actually do it. I was live streaming and I saw a guy doing that with the fountains at Dundas Square. And it's like, that is not treated potable water. Like, I wouldn't let my dog drink this. Why would a person?
Oh, I should have gotten those kids on video touching.
Peter Bradfield, $1.99. Another U.S. city Toronto reminds me of is St. Louis. Peter Bradfield, thank you so much for the $1.99. I have been to Missouri. I've been to Kansas City. I don't know if I've been to St. Louis, but I was a kid when I was there. So that was quite a long time ago. But thank you, Peter Bradfield. We are watching a tourist, folks. Look at that guy.
I don't have a stick on.
Do you have a penny?
No, I don't. I have my flashlight. I'm not going to use that and get away.
We don't have pennies anymore. So those, I wonder, those are probably just rocks. But thank you so much, Peter Bradfield, for the super chat and the comment. If you're a fan of Thai food, there's a Canadian guy who married someone in Thailand, and they came back to Canada and they opened up a whole bunch of restaurants. And one of them right over there, Sukhothai, has amazing northern Thai food. Like, you can get a khao soi that is excellent. And it's honestly better than any khao soi I've had in Thailand. So it's like,
wow.
It's also very expensive, but, and they have a restaurant called Khao San Road. They have another one called Pie. But you can get some seriously good Thai food here.
I remember I had one called Uptown Pie. That was really good. I think I also reviewed it.
On the AK Extra channel?
Yep, I did. I reviewed Tim Hortons, Timmy's. Oh, when I came from Niagara Falls, there was a line for Timmy's out the door. I couldn't believe it.
That one is ridiculous. The one on Clifton Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, we never put light on.
I think it must be like people's first experience ever with a Timmy's, so they go
Also,
there.
that strip is so expensive, full of tourist traps. So you see the Tim Hortons, and like, it's almost like an oasis. This is Wellington Street. Yeah, let's cross here. Canadian Vasily, $2 with a toonie. Thank you so much, Canadian Vasily, for the $2. It is definitely appreciated. Here with a guy who, I won't lie, was an inspiration for what I do. When I discovered his channel, I was just doing like goofy hyperlapse walks.
Yeah, I like those. There's actually a video I did following his hyperlapse video that I repeated.
Did you put it on AK Extra?
No, it was on the main channel. It was doing the downtown loop.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite ones was Chinatown to East Chinatown. But man, I would walk for like an hour and a half on some of those videos, and then it would be like a 5-minute video.
Oh gosh.
But I was working from home, and I started to make videos exploring Toronto, but they were like the hyperlapse, and I wanted something to just put on my TV when I was working, and that's when I like discovered your channel.
Oh wow.
And I had a GoPro and I had a gimbal for it, but I don't know if I was too nervous, but I didn't want to go around, like you were using a GoPro and a gimbal back then.
I was.
And I didn't really want to be walking around the city holding that. It seemed like it was very uncomfortable. Like, no one else is really doing it here, so you get a lot of attention drawn to yourself. But then I saw the DJI Pocket was coming up, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was perfect. So I bought that, and I started cranking out videos. Then I started talking to you on Instagram. And like that's how we got to know each other. Well, at first, you commented on a few of my videos.
I did, that's right.
One where I started at Young and Bloor, and I went over towards the ROM, and your comment was like, I like your intro. I think I stood there as a train went by or something. But we started chatting on IG. And around that time, I used to see Ken sometimes around the city making videos. I never saw my walk around, but he was always downtown making videos. And there was another guy called Trontopia. I don't know what happened to him, but he was doing it.
Yeah, I remember him too. Still can't believe I drove here, man. It's a long way.
Are you just driving back to New York
I plan to.
in like one shot?
It's a 10-hour drive, one shot, yeah. Well, I'll see how I do. If I need to, I'll rest somewhere. But I've done longer drives. Middle of the financial district.
The street's a transit priority corridor. That's why there's not a lot of cars driving on it. You can't go straight through most of these intersections.
That makes sense.
Occasionally, you'll see like some cops just pulling people over all day long on that street.
Got the Big Five Canadian banks headquartered here.
Oh no, I don't know if it's buffering a bit, guys. But Dean Butcher, $13.99. Great to see the collab with both you, Johnny Strides, and Action Kid. You're so close to me, but I'm too tired to stalk you guys after work. Let me get you some refreshments with $13.99.
Thanks, Dean Butcher.
Thank you so much, Dean Butcher. I apologize for any connection hiccups. We're gonna go east on the next street.
Usually Toronto has good internet service. But
Sometimes, like if I'm with someone, if like you turned Wi-Fi off on your phone,
yeah, I did.
because sometimes the Wi-Fi channels will interfere. It seems to be okay now, kind of. But it's not as good as Prism because I can't monitor the connection.
So that's the only bad part. Man, when I withdrew money yesterday from CIBC Bank, the ATM wanted to charge me a 7.5% markup for using their currency conversion.
Ooh.
That's on top of a $4.50 withdrawal fee.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's expensive if you don't be careful.
And Sanjay in Kingston, thank you so much for 38 months of membership. And thank you for being a mod for all that period as well. Thank you, Sanjay. One thing, I have a card when I travel that has no currency transaction fees.
That's good.
So I used it on the subway in Belgium, and then I used my other card, and it was like 10 cents cheaper when it converted into Canada, but that adds up over a trip.
So it really does.
It also helps to have a card that waives ATM fees. I don't have one of those.
Yeah, mine does. But I noticed in Thailand, those are the most expensive ATM with fees I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, in Thailand you got to bring your cash before you get there. That's a known thing with Thailand. Their ATM fees are murder. Can you check? I seem to be having a few connection snafus.
Yeah, it's kind of jittering.
All right, guys, I'm gonna do a speed test. I might reconnect.
It's like stopping and going, stopping and going.
It might be Wi-Fi interference.
I have Wi-Fi off.
Yeah, it might not be you. It might be.
There's tons of Wi-Fi around here.
Yeah, it can be hard to troubleshoot. Sometimes I just have to reconnect it to like kickstart it.
I'll speed test with working group 2. That's my phone plan, working group 2, whatever that is.
Or you know what? I might just switch over to Prism. Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to switch the stream over to a different software here. Let me. Here, let's just. All right.
Yeah. Which
Look at the speeds here. Walking Route 2. Yeah, guys, bear with me. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna kill the stream, but we're gonna come right back. So, if you are leaving us, thank you to Action Kid. All right, we are back, everybody. Get that out. I'm gonna put my camera equipment away, so I'm gonna give the camera to Action Kid here to hold. It's got the stabilization on it, so this is all right.
I think you have some lens dirt.
It's a little bit foggy.
Yeah. I have hand sanitizer if you need it to wipe the lens.
Sure. Normally, I would just reboot it on the pocket, but yeah, we're nearing the end of the stream, so
There you go. You gotta clean off that lens.
I think it might be better now. But Action Kid said he's going to fix it. You know what? We don't have the best connection. It was probably Bell.
Now can wipe it. Yeah, better.
It seems a little out of focus. There we go. Johnny killed the radio star. There we go. We are back, rocking the iPhone handheld. I don't normally stream this way, but why not?
I have my gimbal on me if you want to use it.
Yeah, this is fine. Is it the Moza?
Yeah, the phone was.
All right, do you want to get it out?
Okay. Saw each other, bro. Is anyone? Oh, no one's using this table. Yeah, I think you need to take the case off, right?
Vivian Johnson says AK squirted that stuff and I jumped.
It's Whole Foods lavender hand sanitizer.
Hold this for a sec. I have not used a gimbal and a phone. I think it'll be fine with the case.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't just like hit the power button or anything. Just gotta put it on a little bit to the side of the buttons.
And it works. I still stream with a phone and a gimbal all the time.
It's a little bit slanted, or does that look right to you?
Let me see. Yeah, it is slanted.
How do you set it up? You know what? We can put it into this. Yeah, this mode will work. It'll be a little floaty, but whatever. We're good.
Okay. Almost out of water.
We are in gimbal mode. You ready to go?
Let's go.
I have not.
In life, this is a very low.
I have not streamed this way in a very, very long time. Alex says, first world problems?
Wait, are you using the new Prism software?
I don't think so.
Oh. I'll be curious how my stream's gonna be later because now it's using HEVC for streaming instead of...
Yeah, it's using a more efficient codec, so in theory, for the same amount of data, we can get a higher picture quality. And that'll be coming soon to Android. So Action Kids stream, what you can do is you can compare the quality of mine, because we're both using iPhones, to his. And his should be slightly better if this update works. Thank you for bearing with me. I just didn't feel like restarting the Pocket 3 live streaming. Can you hold this for a second? I just want to check something in my backpack. Keep walking. Do you want to just finish at Dundas Square?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we don't need to walk all the way up Bloor.
Let's see how long it looks.
I'm thinking almost an hour and a half. Yeah, that's a good amount. But we are currently heading north up the east side of Yongi Street.
Young.
We're gonna go up to Dundas Square. Well, that's an interesting thing to be carrying.
He said it's an ass.
I'm sure he'll perhaps join me for another stream next week, but maybe even, well, Friday I'm going to be at the CNE. I think a lot of people are going to be at the CNE.
So I want to go see him.
We'll probably run into each other there. Mark D, $7. Johnny Strides, good to see you. Back in action with Action. Thank you so much, Mark D. As this gimbal decides to do something kind of funky. But thank you, Mark D.
It's probably too heavy for it. I do have a backup gimbal in case that one breaks.
All of my Moza Minis are like toast. I use them in like snowstorms. All of them don't have a stick anymore. I have 3.
How'd you break this?
In my backpack, they like fall off. But thank you, Mark D. So what we're gonna do is at Dundas Square, I don't know if Action Kid's gonna want to take a break or not, but
I'm just gonna continue from there.
But you can continue on his stream. I don't know.
Just past the TTC there. Take the car, right? That's the acronym that Toronto holdings like to call it when it doesn't go the right way.
Dwart 549. I think I read that correctly. Thank you so much for the super chat and the 549. Thank you. Sorry if this gimbal is slightly crooked. It's probably just not balanced properly, but I imagine Action Kid's setup will be a little more less slanty. Which way are you gonna go?
Oh, I think I'm gonna go up north.
To like Bloor Young?
Yeah, Bloor Young. Maybe go west on Bloor Street. Check out Koreatown.
And then you got to go down and get your scooter at some point.
Yeah, I will.
I have a feeling that scooter might not be there.
I think it'll be there. I'll make a video walking from where I end my live stream to the scooter.
Are you gonna try Shake Shack in Toronto?
Maybe I should. That'll actually be a good video because I can say, hey, I'm a New Yorker. I'm gonna try this Toronto's newest chain.
Didn't Shake Shack start off as like a hot dog stand? I don't think this was here last time you were here.
Oh no, it wasn't.
One of those-
Well, that'll do well. Crane machine game, crane machine store.
There's two of them. There's another one. They're owned by the same people.
Oh, they are.
I think tomorrow I'm just gonna do an e-bike video, and that'll be good. This is feeling like a 30,000 step kind of day.
I don't know how many steps I'm gonna do. Should be interesting when I finish.
And you're here all next week?
I'm planning to be.
So you got lots of time to make pre-recorded videos. But I would definitely do like a Friday or Saturday nightlife kind of, maybe both.
Maybe. Definitely have to do the CNE.
And after 5 p.m. the CNE is free Monday to Thursday, so you can always do like an evening.
And when does it close?
10 or 11.
Oh, so wow.
Yeah, enough to go there, do a live stream. But we're at the one and only Dundas Square. A square not to go by any other name, ever.
Isn't this where the walking man dude beat all of us at arm wrestling?
It is.
He like came out of nowhere.
It's more Piccadilly Circus than Times Square.
Yeah, I would say so. Now that we've both been there. You went to London after I did.
It's kind of a little bit of Trafalgar Square with like the buskers and stuff, but it's definitely more, feels more like Piccadilly Circus. It's concrete, there's ads.
And you kind of have that like older shapes design. You can kind of see it here.
But I want to thank everyone so much for tuning in. I want to thank our mods. I saw Vivian Johnson and Marge and Sheena and Sanjay and Kingston. I want to thank everyone who sent support. It is much appreciated. Channel members, Patreon supporters, and just everyone who tuned in. If you want to see when I go live next, probably Friday, probably from the CNE, do hit that bell. And I want to thank this guy.
Yeah. Come and check out my live stream. I'm going live right after this.
I forget his name, but I'm sure he'll, no, that is Action Kid. Jelly Bean. Whoa. Pick up your coffee, 10 Dundas, tenor. All right, we have a mission right before we sign off. We have one mission, and then I'm going to sign off. And then soon after I end this stream, Action Kid is going to start up on his stream. You know what? I don't think I can stream in there. Do you just want to chill here?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go fire that up. I'm going to let Action Kid man the stream. Jelly Bean, I'm going to go get that item. Pick up your coffee at 10 Dundas. All right, Jelly Bean. Whoa.
I think we could just sit still for a bit with that
You can also just handhold it.
Yeah, let's just handle it.
Maybe if it does it again, but I'll be back. Action.
Just handhold it.
All right, I can probably do this. They don't let you film in the tenor. I didn't want to go in with the gimbal, but. All right, Jelly Bean going to get the coffee. Action Kid is behind me. I think he's putting his gimbal away. We might wait for the next light cycle. And once I get that coffee, we're gonna wrap up. And we're gonna switch over to Action Kid. That's weird because this isn't that heavy. All right, guys, I'm gonna kind of hold the phone in stealth mode a little bit here. Just waiting, guys. There's AK. Is there a mobile order coming for Julie? All right, it is just coming. If you want, you can go set your stream up. I'm just gonna get my coffee.
Yeah, there's nowhere to set it up here anyways.
There's seats in
Dundas.
All right, I'll go find you.
All right.
We're just waiting. I don't want to point my camera at the girl making the coffee, but thank you, Jelly Bean. Just a friendly reminder, we'll be ending the stream in a few minutes. And you can switch over to Action Kid stream.
Let me check upstairs.
I think he's... Thank you. Holy crap, this is good. Thank you, Jelly Bean. Thank you so much. Hot day, long walk. I recorded a video before this. So we're gonna go find Action Kid. He's gonna be in the middle of setting up a stream. But Jelly Bean, thank you for the iced latte. He should be over here, setting the stream up. Where is he? Am I blind? Where is Action Kid? Where's this guy? Oh. There he is. My viewer sent me a nice coffee.
All right. Got a little concerned with that guy behind me, but nothing I'm not used to.
You're walking around with all that gear?
Yeah, it's heavy. Gotta be prepared. Have phone gimbal, pocket 3, chest mount, and I put my bike lock in there when it's time to use the scooter.
Thank you, Jelly Bean. Thank you so much for the delicious.
This way.
We're waiting for. How long does this take normally?
Not that long.
Would you rather sit down?
No, I don't want to.
All right.
Now, some people around here.
You don't want to sit down, folks.
Nope.
This is a behind the scenes look.
Thumbnail.
He just captured his thumbnail. His phone won't auto rotate because he's using an iPhone, and as we all know, iPhones suck.
Oh. There we go.
Have you ever done a How I Live Stream video
Yeah, I did.
on the AK Extra channel?
Mm-hmm.
Little behind the scenes look. I'm hand holding the iPhone right now. The stabilization mode is pretty awesome.
It's Wednesday now.
So when this stream wraps up, if you're still free, head over to @ActionKid on the YouTubes and you can continue along with the stream and the chat. I might bug him for a little bit on the stream, but I probably won't be with him for the whole stream unless he asks me to.
Let's see. Normal latency. Just want to see if anything changed with this update now.
Oh yeah.
Max 4,000 recommended. It's 4,000.
4,000 with H.265 is probably similar to 6,000 with H.264.
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry.
Sorry. I can do 60 frames per second.
Ooh.
Ooh, some devices may experience problems from overheating.
Are you gonna do 60?
Yeah. I'll
All
try.
right. Are you doing H.265?
It's whatever it is, I guess.
Is it 4,000 or 6,000?
4,000.
All right.
I mean, it doesn't have a setting for H.265, but I assume it is because it's there.
So he is using. So your quality should be similar, but your data should be lower.
Yeah.
But if you're doing 60 frames per second, your quality might be a little bit lower actually. It'll be smoother because it's double the frame rate, right?
Oh.
So it's literally taking double the shots at the same bit rate. But it'll be smoother.
All right, we'll see.
This is an experimental stream.
Start it up. Intro's going.
Three, two, one. All right, everybody. Action Kid has started his stream, so that means time to kill this one off. Again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank our mods, Patreon members, channel supporters, and just everyone who watched. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell. There will be a video tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. EST premiering on the channel, and it will be a Toronto video. I am all out of London walking videos. There's just one more London video to go, and that is London to Toronto. I take the Elizabeth line, walk through Heathrow Airport, and then get on a plane and finish up at Pearson Airport.
I just edited the title.
So thank you to Action Kid for joining. Again, head over to his channel, and I believe the other Ken will be streaming after him. So thank you so much, guys.
Great.
I will catch you on the next one. Yoink.